ladies and gentlemen, to what is a brand new channel. Lewis, Borden, football. I know what you're thinking. Lewis, you're always right. I don't want the spoilers. Please, no more great content. Now, do you know what, lads? What I realised is, on pitch side, I don't get the respect that I deserve. So right here, we're going to be keeping a catalogue of my greatest takes throughout this season, predictions and all sorts, and you can sit and watch them with your own eyes come true. Of course, please subscribe, hype the video below by just swiping left on the comments, click hype, it helps out small channels, which this one is. But today what we're going to do, and start off with, fresh off the back of a big transfer window, is predict our Premier League table. Again. Yeah, I know we already did this on pitch side, but the thing is, the transfer window didn't go quite how I expected. But we'll get into all of that, boys. First though, let's start off with my pick for 20th. And unfortunately for me, it is a team who I would like to steal up, actually. I think they're really good for the Premier League. I think they have good history. They have good fans, a good stadium. It's nice to have another northern team up there. It's Sunderland. Nah, it's Leeds. I put Leeds in 20th, and do you know what, right? The transfer window doesn't really excite us. Yeah, I mean, they have got Longstaff, and honestly, he is such an underrated part in what was happening in Newcastle's midfield, especially in that transitionary period from our relegation battles to fighting in the Champions League. And he improved massively under Eddie Howe. I understand why he wants to leave and why he should leave, really. Pure profit for us in FFP, but also for Leeds, they get a first-teamer who was unbelievable, by the way, in our 0-0 draw. I mean, he dominated the midfield. I mean, credit where it's due, Longstaff is the player I always thought he is. Up there with Rodri. I mean, yes, they have some good players in there, but is it good enough to beat out the teams like Sunderland, Burnley, not only them, but then the Wolves, the West Hams, these established Premier League teams who have stayed in the Premier League for a long time for a big reason. They have good enough players to get them by. And the thing is, right, when they came up with Bielsa before, and they had the whole Bielsa ball thing going on, and they surprised everyone with how aggressive they are, I don't think that works anymore. Not that Leeds are trying to do that, but I think the way you survive in the Premier League now is doing what Benitez did with us, doing what Burnley are most likely going to attempt to do this season, where you sit back, you soak it in, even if you go 1-0 down, you don't panic, because in the 80th minute, you go for it and you try and steal a win, you try and steal a point, and honestly, that I feel like is the way to solidify yourself in a Prem for the first couple seasons before you get enough good players in. Leading into 19th, Sunderland, you're fucking going down, and this is doing me head in, right? All these Sunderland fans giving it the big in. You're 3 games in, and admittedly I thought you were going to get done in by Brentford, and fair play to them, they're doing well at home, and that's going to be a massive thing to Sunderland if they are going to survive this season, is can they get that home record good? I mean, they didn't really show up for the cup, so it's alright, lads, just turn up for the big games. Don't turn up and support them when the team needs you, it's fine. And by the way, I had so many Sunderland fans laughing at me about that, saying, you don't even go to Newcastle games. Well, neither did fucking you from the state of that cup tie. Anyways, we're getting off track. Now, I do think Sunderland are looking much better than expected, and in fairness, this might be a tad harsh. My theory is, when the AFCON comes around, when it gets a bit tricky and the excitement dies down from the start of the season, when things start getting tough, are they going to be able to maintain this form? I think not. And that's why I have Burnley ahead of them. Just because I think they'll be more pragmatic in how they're going to approach this season. And it's not a race, it's a marathon sort of aspect. But hey, if Sunderland stay up, I'm not annoyed at it. As long as they don't finish above 16th, that'll piss me off. I want them to be suffering just the right amount to stay up. So of course, as I say, Burnley in 18th, listed my reasons already. And also Kyle Walker, leading the line from the back. I think it's a great signing. I think Scott Parker is massively underrated. When he was sacked from Bournemouth, you have to remember their fixture list when they came into that season. And just as they were approaching the more winnable games, they got rid of him. And the form picked up and they were like, see, this is what we're like without Scott Parker. Yeah, that's what you like when you're not playing the best in the Prem. I think he's a good level-headed manager. And I think that is what you need. 17th, we're going Wolves. I mean, Strand Larsen might be able to save them, but I feel like the one injury away to him to suffering massively this season, and I just don't feel like there's that much optimism in the team. They've lost some big players in Cunha. I don't know, I think it's just going to be a tricky season. Maybe this is a bit harsh, and they might do a lot better, but from what I've seen this season, I mean, how can anyone be fucking convinced? 16th, somehow, in front of Wolves, I have Graham Potter's West Ham. But will there be Graham Potter's West Ham by the end of the season? I don't think so, But Jared Bowen has put that team on his fucking back, and he's tugging them along as much as Callum Wilson tries to stop him. Did you see that, where Bowen cut in from the left? It was unbelievable. Dribble through like Messi. He's about to score the goal of his career. Wilson tried to tap it in and missed. I think West Ham have some good players in spots. I think Bowen's class, obviously you got Paqueta. I think Wilson's a very smart, very West Ham signing. The classic English old school striker. But Potter, it just looks lost. And it looks like it's just not going to work out. And it's sad because I used to back Potter a lot, but I think I was wrong. I just admitted I was wrong, by the way. I told you, unbiased, unfiltered, beast mode football. Subscribe right now. Above them, Fulham in 15th. They didn't get the Sterling signing over, which I really wanted them to get. I feel like that was just a classic, Willian case, you know what I mean? But they're a steady team, and again, I think this might be a bit harsh, but I just think the league is so fucking competitive at the moment. And I think Fulham have one of the best managers in the league with Marco Silva. The more I talk about it, I don't know why I haven't got them higher. It's just I couldn't, in my brain, logically put them above the teams ahead of them, except from this one. In 14th, we have Manchester United. Oh, Lewis, here we go. Oh, forcing rivalry. Fuck off. Honestly, I'm sick of these Twitter kids who have fucking Bruno Fernandes as the profile picture, regurgitating the last sentence they saw Tom Garrett say. Regurgitating any quote or phrase they see on TikTok and Twitter without even knowing what football is. It's not forcing a rivalry. You're shit. Admittedly, I wanted Sesko. I'm fucking glad we didn't get him. I was very wrong about Sesko. I will hold my hands up. The guy is useless, let's be honest. It's the same thing I see with Gyökeres. I just think he's the Darwin Núñez type player. He's just clumsy. He'll scrape me some goals, but he's not fit for this league. He doesn't look technically good enough with his feet on the ball. And they have major problems. They're getting knocked out by Grimsby. You have Amram with a worse record than Neville did at Valencia. At Man United, who have invested heavily. Even I'm personally looking at it thinking, how does this not work in some form? And again, it must be built in the club. It must be not accepting where you are. It must be setting expectations to, we're going to finish in the Champions League this year, when you're just not good enough. And when you don't reach that, your head gets down, you start trying too hard, you start falling off a cliff, and you end up like Man United. Entitled rich kids. And it's going to be a bitter pill to swallow for them. I've said a long time ago, it will take a while for Man United to get back to that top echelons of the Premier League. And that is because it takes more than just a bit of moolah to do it now. And trust me, this is coming from me, I'm a Newcastle fan. We have all the money in the world. Admittedly, we can't spend it, but it's more about money. It's about the manager. It's about the fan base coming together as a collective. It's about everything moving in one direction. That's why you see Brentford's doing amazing. That's why you see Newcastle doing so well. That's why you see Forest even doing well now. They spent massive, but cleverly. We signed your former player for 60 million quid and he'd get into your starting lineup. Oh no, Mbuemo's out there. He'll be up there. You see the point though, you have Manu who you're phasing out the team. I cannot comprehend why, and I feel like Man United fans probably share a lot of these issues and agree to a certain extent. At least the logical ones do. Again, with their decision to go with the younger keeper rather than the experienced World Cup winning Premier League keeper in Martinez, a good character for the dressing room. I can't understand it. It's wrong. You should have got Martinez. Get the Premier League proven, experienced player into that dressing room. It boggles my mind. Anyways, enough of Man United. 13th. Brentford. Honestly, I think I had these a lot lower at the start of the season. Brentford have taken some big hits. Losing Mbuemo, losing their manager, losing Wissa. They've obviously brought in Otara. That was the one. He came in on 42 million euros. I don't know why we're talking euros these days. Kelleher, great signing. Jordan Henderson. Shit. I don't know, man. I feel like, again, Brentford's a great argument against this Man United sort of thing where they have an unknown manager, they've lost their bigger players, but yet the team still works because there's a built-in philosophy that has been developed season after season, and that's what Man United have to do. 12th, the team that was robbed of the Europa League. Boo! I'm booing, not Palace, I'm booing the powers that be. I feel for Palace, but I actually really like them as well. But obviously the big news on the transfer window was Guéhi stayed. Apparently Glasner walked into Soho, Parish was having a little gym workout, having a coffee and that, and he got his cock out, slapped it on the fucking table and said, "Don't let him go or I fucking quit, mate." That's not his accent. I don't know how does Glasner talk. Maybe you should not sell the Guéhi because otherwise I'm quit. Definitely has a big cock as well. Got to have big balls for the job he's done at Palace. I love him. And he was actually linked to the Leverkusen job because Ten Hag was let go after 2 games. I mean, that would have been fucking mental. That transfer deadline day signing of Gay to Liverpool, Glasner quits and goes to Leverkusen. Would have signed off one of the most mental transfer windows we've ever had. But I think that is a fair judgment for them this year. And I think they'll win the Conference League and get in the Europa League next year. And they'll have more time to build and prepare to be in the Europa League. It could be a bit of a blessing in disguise for Palace if they do win the Conference League, which I do think they do. 11th, I've gone Forest. Tom Garrett's biggest enemies. I understand his logic with him, and he was right about a lot of stuff he said about Forest, but Morgan Gibbs-White loves the club. Mr. Marinakis, thank you very much for sponsoring this video. Actually, if he sponsored them, I'd put them like 3rd, wouldn't I? They're a good team. They've signed like 4 players, all from like Botafogo, was it? Is something dodgy happening there? All I know is they've replaced some big players that they lost. Elanga, of course, left. Kept hold of Gibbs-White. And they're playing good football at the moment. They're getting some good results under the belt. I think that's a fair position, 11th for Forest. This is where it gets tasty, man. The transfer window's really affected my prediction here. It's dropped them down quite a few spots. It's Aston Villa in 10th. I mean, I feel for Aston Villa. As I say, I feel like Newcastle and Aston Villa have been like on the same journey together. From a really bad team down in the relegation places, get a high, top quality manager, a bit of money, and then also the Champions League journey, living the dream. Except one like did it first and like won a trophy and got Champions League last year. But now they're in the shit period that we were for the last 2 years, where it was you can't spend. Newcastle didn't sign anyone for 2 seasons. All we did was sell, and it was fucking brutal. But they signed Jadon Sancho. I used to be Jadon Sancho's biggest defender, but fuck me, like, is his heart going to be in it? I think it's a good place for him to move to. We saw what happened to Rashford when he went there, and he was sort of reinvigorated. I think certain players are better being a big fish in a smaller pond, and I think that's Jadon Sancho. Harvey Elliott, great signing. Again, I really like that. I think those 2 bits of smart business, but fucking hell, high wages. Is it going to fuck them in the future? Are they going to have to sell? It is all issues for Aston Villa, but they're looking really flat at the moment, and I just don't think they're going to be good enough this year. 10th. In 9th, we are Brighton. Honestly, not much logic on this one. I know, shock. 8th, Bournemouth. Still looking good, man. Still looking fucking solid. I rate Bournemouth. Again, another team with a built-in identity, a top manager, and some good fucking players. Semenyo was a player that Newcastle really wanted, but they told us to fuck off. Way too much money for our liking. Class result against Spurs. I mean, they went into the international break in good fucking form, good position, and I think that'll be a good season for them. 7th. My dark horse, the team I believed in. I actually put them in 9th originally on my start of the season predictions, but since seeing them play, since seeing certain players come into the club this transfer window, it has to be 7th. It is mental, I know. Everton. I just think they've done class business, and David Moyes is a brilliant manager. And I want to bring this back to West Ham, because I remember when West Ham got rid of Moyes after he won them a European trophy, was getting them good positions in the Premier League, high above where they should have been, and West Ham fans wanted him out because it's not the football we want. I said the grass is not going to be greener than David Moyes. He's a top quality fucking manager. He knows what he's doing, and what he was doing at West Ham was overachieving. And I know you're saying there's a ceiling with him. Maybe so, right? But the ceiling he was at, I think it's better than where you are with Potter right now. You might get fucking relegated. But David Moyes, I knew he'd do a great job at Everton, and I'm so glad he is. I mean, I used to love seeing Everton do shit, if I'm honest, but now Moyes has came in, new stadium there. I'm happy to see them doing well. I'm happy to see Grealish doing well there. I'm happy to see Dewsbury Hall doing great there. Friend of the show. And hey, maybe even a League Cup trophy for them. Who knows, man? The fucking sky's the limit for Everton this season. This is where it gets tasty, boys. My top 6 predictions, revamped after the transfer window. In 6th, Tottenham. Daniel Levy, of course, leaving. Crazy. It was only just the other week where I was saying I feel like he's so underappreciated at Tottenham. Yes, they haven't went on to achieve everything that they should have achieved, but he's brought in world-class managers. Conte, you know, Jose Mourinho. Obviously, sacking Jose before the final, very questionable decision. I understand they haven't spent as much as they should if they want to achieve at that top level. But you've got to also be grateful to a certain extent of what he has done for you and getting you that foothold in, like, the big 6. And they have invested with Xavi Simons, Kudu's coming in. I mean, they've had a good window, and now he's left. And got Frank in, who I think is a fucking top quality manager. I love Frank. I think he's very similar to Eddie Howe in the fact that he's not the sexy manager, you know, but he's the best. Time for fifth. I originally put Newcastle here. This was pre-signings, but I always had faith we'd make signings. And they are no longer fifth for me. We have a newcomer. Fifth, we have Arsenal. Oh, the agenda. Oh, it's all about us. Oh, the ref hates us. Oh, there's always a reason why we don't win. You're fucking shit. Okay, you're not shit, but you'll never win anything with Arteta. Gyökeres, bad signing. I don't need to be a fucking genius to watch him play, and when he tries to cross the ball in and he smacks it out for a throw in, I know this guy has not got ability with his feet. He's a brute, yes. He will get you goals against bad teams, yes. Against Liverpool, what happens? He goes fucking silent. What about the big games that Arsenal are going to have to win to get the Premier League this season? I'm sorry, he isn't that guy. And I know I'm just going to be proven right, genuinely. I think is fifth harsh? Maybe so, but I believe that Newcastle are now going to finish above them. Because you have to think, we almost finished above them last year. The offset of quality of players is outdone by the offset of quality of manager, and Eddie Howe is so superior to Arteta. It genuinely boggles my mind how it's still a debate for some people. What Eddie Howe has done with our team is absolutely magical. It's unprecedented. It's fucking amazing. It's unheard of. Arsenal 5th, Newcastle 4th. It's going to be a great season. Walter Made, honestly, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about the lad. And he's from the German league, like Sesko. And Sesko's looking shit. And we know we have so many fucking bad strikers who have came from the German league. But I think a key little part of it is his ability to link up play. I think he ranks top 3 or top 4 in Europe for touches in the central areas of the field and touches in the box. He's a tall player, but he's actually very intricate. He's young, overpaid, yes, probably. Top goal scorer in the Euros under-21s, you know, scored more goals than Ekitike in the Bundesliga last year. I do believe this guy has the right characteristics. And he was in 4th or 5th choice before people start saying that. Newcastle didn't think he was for sale. Bayern Munich went in for him and they got turned down 3 fucking times. Turns out he was for sale, just we had to spend a lot of money. I do really back him to do great, but you have to remember he's not going to be our starting striker. Wisser is. You know, the player who scored 19 goals in the Prem last season at Brentford without pens. The guy who has a massive variety of finishing. Overhead kicks, headers, fucking anything, the lad's got it. Our new number 9 who wanted this move, admittedly through questionable means. I don't agree with going on strike. You got Ramsey, the youngster, coming into midfield. You got Ramsdale, very clever loan pickup. Chow, Champions League experience at AC Milan, young centre-back. Elanga on the wing, the fastest player in the world, competing in the next Olympics. I think we got all that we need this year. And now the window's out our way, you're going to see us kick on because we've been playing better football than all the teams we played. We just haven't had that striker to finish the chances for us. We outplayed Liverpool with 10 men. Put some fucking respect on name. Arsenal didn't even come near them, and they had 11 supposedly better men. 3rd, Man City. Haven't been impressed, unfortunately. I love Rain Diaz. I don't know how you pronounce it. I've rebranded him. It's easier for everyone. Rain Diaz is class. He's like the new Gundogan in that midfield. But the thing is, they're just looking sloppy. I mean, losing to Tottenham, what the fuck? That's not what Man City do. And I know what you're thinking, Lucius Mental. You've now put in Chelsea 2nd. Yes, I am. They're looking fucking good, man. And I just think their depth and quality, it's finally clicked. They've thrown enough shit at the wall. It's worked out for them, let's be honest. João Pedro, great pickup. Obviously, Newcastle missed out on him. But I just back them, man. I think this is a year where they get a bit of experience of being in a title race. And of course, that sadly means Liverpool are finishing 1st. I'm not happy about it either. But the thing is, they're finishing 1st, not because of Isak, because he's going to spend the whole season on the bench. We're rooting for Ekitike. Never in my life did I think I'd be rooting for Ekitike. He was on my top 5 list of hated players of all time. But now, Ekitike, what you have to do for me, please, you have to just score so many fucking goals. Keep that twat out of the team. Thank you. I love you. That's my new 1 to 20, lads. Let me know yours down below in the comments. As I say, we're going to be doing unfiltered, unbiased, beast mode football all season on this channel. So please do subscribe. I massively appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.